27 years, what we have been doing in the HHKB. So we have not changed the key concept of the HHKB for the 27 years. Are always just asking same question. What is the ultimate human interface for the programmers? So we also recognize that we live in a constantly changing world, especially for the computing and the IT world. So we start think about something new. For the 4 years ago, when we started, we just released the current professional hybrid. So we have think about what is our unwavering philosophy. It could be the premier typing experience for the professionals, but on the other hand, we should evolving towards the future. So adapting and improving for the 27 years with rapidly changing computing devices. But anyway, what is our philosophy? So we have three key philosophy in the HHKB, and then this is unchanged. One is optimal key layout, compact, and the second is compact design, and then excellent smooth key touch. So this is our key philosophy we should keep in the HHKB product line. So based on this consideration, but also we need to make something new, that HHKB Studio will come. So that's the starting point of the creation of the new HHKB Studio. Again, HHKB professional line has been supporting kind of traditional programming or writing environments such as the Emacs or BI, some other programming coding types. But however, in recent modern times, boundaries between programmers and the content creators are disappearing, including AI, video, music, editing, various diverse graphics, and more, including web from front-end developers. So we BFU wanted to design an input device to optimize experience for these new diverse creators. It's not only keyboard typing, also other input devices. So to create this something new in HHKB, where is the best place to start? It's California. Because of the here, California is the center of IT in the world. That's why we designed this product in California by PFU America Inc. here with collaboration with Huge Design. They developed a great product in the past, like a GoPro. So we worked hard together. What is the best design of the new generation of the HHKB? That is we developed the HHKB Studio in the concept. Of course, all of the development, engineering, quality authentication is done by PFU Japan. It's same as the HHKB professional. So this new concept will bring new things about in the HHKB. So just kind of concept in the graphics. In the traditional HHKB professional, like a very good steering, but you have the good another tool like a label, some of the like a mice and trackpad in as your input devices. So we'd like to develop modern all-in-one devices in the HHKB world. So this is the HHKB Studio. So yeah, I spent a lot of words, but it's better to see the video to quickly understand what the HHKB Studio is.
Was he just like DJ free spinning on that HHKB? Was that what he was doing? Dude, I'm so embarrassed.
So this is the HHKB studio. The Chase will be explaining about the detail of the key features of the studio, but at this time, I'd like to explain about our portfolio of the HHKB. So HHKB Studio is a new product series in the HHKB family alongside the HHKB Professional series we have. So we keep maintaining these two series in our portfolio. In other words, we are going to keep the HHKB Professional Hybrid Type S, Hybrid Classic with support switch for the future as well. And then you have now another choice, HHKB Studio, if you are interested in this kinds of the HHKB layout with all-in-one devices. So this is our new portfolio, and then I'd like to ask you to consider which is the best choice of your HHKB. But why we put the name, the studio? So with this concept of the optimizing the experience for the with all-in-one device, we envision this product like a studio, like a creator using every day. So studio is a place where professional work or all tools they needed are available. That's all in one. And then these tools on your hands, so minimal movement to have the maximum productivity. So this is our thought why this named as the studio. So this is my presentation today, and then we'd like to tell you what the key studio features from my team, Chase.
Oh, he's muted. Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you so much, Kutsuwada-san, for that great story on how HHKB Studio came to life. And now, like you said, I will be diving into a lot of the features in this incredible keyboard.
He has a gold chain.
So before I move on to the new features that HHKB Studio introduced, I want to start with some of the features that are traditional and stay with HHKB Studio from the Professional series and keep this as a true HHKB product. So this, of course, begins with our iconic HHKB layout that Professor Wada released to the world back in 1996. As you will see here, this features amazing moves like moving the control key to the home position so that you can have minimal finger movement while reaching the maximum amount of keys and having the most comfortable typing experience possible. And that's kind of our main philosophy as keyboard developers, is we really want you to have to move your hands minimally so that you can achieve the highest amount of work and output during your long sessions of work. HHKB Studio is no different, and therefore we created the most optimal key layout and kept that with this new keyboard product. Another feature too is our cylindrical step structure that you can see in this diagram on the bottom right. This also features in the HHKB Professional series and stays true with the HHKB Studio because once again, it creates a very ergonomic typing experience that allows you to be very comfortable while you're typing and never get any finger or wrist fatigue and still output incredible amounts of work. Okay, so with those things said, now let's move into some of the new and exciting features that HHKB Studio contains. In this slide, I just am gonna briefly touch over an overview on all the new features, and then we'll dive in a little deeper in the following slides. So I wanna start with our new custom original HHKB linear switches. These were designed to really reduce distraction, and I'll go over it a little bit more in the next slide. Also, we introduced this new refined LED strip, which has 4 LEDs in it and really gives you a refined status indication experience that helps with things like Bluetooth and different key map profiles, which I'll also talk about later in the presentation. Next, we have integrated mouse capabilities that you guys may have all noticed with our pictures. And this is with a pointing stick in the middle of the keyboard and our 3 mouse buttons at the bottom. And then finally, we have our 4 gesture pads that are innovative and brand new to the HHKB family and HHKB Studio. And these really allow you to unlock endless amounts of capabilities and make your work environment so much more efficient and more intuitive. Personally, I love this feature. All right, so now let's get in a little bit deeper into all these great things. To start, we'll begin with our new custom HHKB linear switches. These are quiet, smooth, mechanical linear switches that are manufactured by Kale. As you can see on the left in our little force diagram, these switches transmit an extremely smooth amount as you enter more force and have more travel. Also, we really muted the noise. And the inspiration behind creating these new switches for this board goes into the inspiration behind what Studio is. As Kutswada-san explained, we envision HHKB Studio as being the keyboard version of a person's studio, which means having all the tools and being the best environment to fuel creation. For us, as we search to create that ideal experience, we wanted to eliminate all possible distractions. And with keyboards, there's really 2 main senses that you
Toper's too distracting. Toper's distracting.
The sound and the feeling.
Yeah,
So by eliminating and muting the sound and eliminating any key chatter and any feelings that you might get,
Toper's been too
only focused on what they're creating, which is the ultimate goal of our HHKB Studio.
This is distracting. We all knew that.
Create your beautiful things without any distractions.
Thank you for removing the distraction of Topre.
This is the graph of our famous Topre electrocapacitive key switches. As you can see, there is a bump that you experience. And this is just for a different purpose. The HHKB Professional is inspired by creating an amazing experience for typing efficiency and heavy-duty text professionals, hence HHKB Professional. So both these switches just serve different purposes, and this is the inspiration behind why we wanted to create a muted switch, because the Studio is serving a different purpose than the Professional series. On top of that, though, every person is unique and every person is different. And we recognize that as well. So when we were creating these original switches, we also recognize that, my ideal environment for creation is different than Kutswada-san's, is different than Huey's, is different than many people. Everyone has their peak and optimal place to do their best work. And for that reason, some people might actually prefer some noise. Some people might prefer some more tactility to create their products. It might be inspiring and create a better environment for them. So for that reason, we really set out to make this board as customizable as possible. And that meant starting with a hot swappable base. Allowing you to put in whatever switch you want really opens up the ability for you to really let your creative juices flow and have an environment that's custom to your specific needs. All you need here is just a simple key switch remover, and you'll be able to put whatever switches you desire. Make sure, though, to remember that when you are switching the switches, they are at your own risk. I just had to make sure I said that real quick. On top of that, though, we designed these switches to have an MX stem as well, and that allows you to really replace a lot of the keycaps. Now, we also know that with these keycaps, there are a few, differences because of our unique, iconic HHKB layout and because of the integration of the pointing stick. Specifically, we have a unique spacebar and GHB keys, which have a little bit of an indent to make room for that amazing pointing stick. So for this reason, coming soon, we will be releasing the keytop data to the public to be used as open source material and to have, all sorts of creators be able to create their custom keycap sets for this keyboard. This will be released around March 2024 timeline, so be on the lookout for that. And like I said, this will really open up the capabilities for anyone to be able to create the keyboard experience and the keyboard look, in this case.
6 months from now? 6 months from now you're going to release it?
I want to dive into a few more of the different hardware changes we made in terms of creating a new experience. I'll start with the new and updated LED status bar. So this one, as you may remember with the Professional, it's like a little dot, but in this case, we created an LED strip that has 4 LEDs on it. Not only does this make a little bit clearer indication of on and off, but also these 4 different bars indicate things such as which device you're connected to if you're using Bluetooth. For instance, for example, our keyboard connects to up to 4 devices, and for myself, sometimes I forget when I leave for a while which one is connected to. When I turn it on, this board will tell me exactly which device I'm connected to through the LED. The same goes for your different key map profiles as well, and I'll get into more about what these key map profiles are in a little bit. The next thing, we really wanted to, maintain this nice minimalist, sleek shape that the HHKB Studio features. So that meant we had to integrate the battery into the actual shape of the board. And so we eliminated that battery bump that's featured on our HHKB Professional series. This really helps maintain the shape and keep that really nice aesthetic to really fill out your complete desk setup. And the last thing I'll touch on in this slide is a more intuitive on and off switch. Previously, we have a button that would turn on and off the board. And as you may recall, if you leave, say, to go get lunch or something, after 30 minutes with the HHKB Professional, your keyboard will turn off automatically. So you may come back, and I know I've done this many times. I'll come back and be like, did I turn it on? I don't know. And then, of course, I turn it on, and then all of a sudden it turns off, and I'm like, oh, man. Well, in this case, the board is only on and only off based on when you switch the switch. And if you are inactive for 30 minutes, you actually just go into a power-conserving sleep mode, and you can just return it on by pressing the Enter key. So the only way to completely turn off the board is to slide it off. This feature has already helped me a lot because, like I said, I can return from my break and just click the Enter button, and my board is already ready to go for me. All right, so these were a lot of the different hardware changes. Next, I want to go into these new features that we integrated to make this a true all-in-one device and create that perfect studio for all of you creators. What we'll get started with first is those integrated mouse functionalities, including the pointing stick, which is at the center of the keyboard, and these 3 mouse buttons at the bottom. Having this mouse integration really eliminates the need for other devices like a mouse and creates this all-in-one device capability. In other words, by having these features here, we really hold true to our original philosophy back even when we created HHKB Professional based on minimal movement. I know for me, I'm not the best touch typer, so having the minimal movement on my fingers with the keyboard already helped a lot. But likewise, one of the biggest movements I would have to make using old keyboards was going from keyboard to mouse, back and forth, back and forth. However, with this integrated mouse functionality, you can still keep your fingers on the home row the entire time during your experience.
He's not even a touch typer.
He's not even a touch typer. You'll be able to access both all the capabilities of a keyboard and all the capabilities of a mouse device.
You don't keep your hand on the home row. You just said you aren't a touch typer.
It creates a very small footprint. If you're on the go and in this work from home environment, you may be working from many different places. Instead of having to pack a keyboard, a mouse, maybe a mouse pad, and cram it into your backpack, all you need is your HHKB Studio, and you're ready to go. This is great for mobile work.
When did laptops?
You can really take it to a table, a cafe, or wherever, and have everything you need right at your fingertips. The last thing I'll touch on here is this pointing stick's actually extremely adjustable. And
did laptops stop including mouse pads, mouse buttons, and keyboard?
These pointing sticks really allow you
to
happened? Access a wealth of capability right from your fingertips and never have to leave the home row. The next
this guy's chewing gum. This guy's chewing gum.
Innovative new gesture pads. Now these gesture pads allow you to unlock a world of capabilities utilizing our new key map tool, which I'll soon go over. These gesture pads really create an experience for you to have an intuitive motion with just your fingers, either sliding it up and down or left and right, and control many different commands. You can control things simply like volume and brightness in an intuitive up and down fashion, or you can control much more advanced things like keyboard combination shortcuts and everything in between. You could have it be the up arrow, scrolling, zooming, whatever you want to program it to, you can make it happen with these gesture pads. And once again, they're right by the home row, so you have minimal finger movement to access these extra capabilities. Likewise, these are adjustable too, so you can adjust the sensitivity based on how sensitive and how fast you want these things to be adjusted. So further on this adjustability, it starts with 4 steps, and it's just one simple key command. You just press the middle mouse button and then 1, 2, 3, or 4 to adjust your pointing stick speed, and 1 being the slowest, 4 being the fastest. I know for myself, I like it to be a little slower, so I use level 1. And then with the gesture pads, you just click the middle mouse button and 6, 7, 8, or 9 to adjust the sensitivity on that. So for me, on volume, I either want it max or I want it 0. So I'll set it to 9 for my volume level and basically just have high volume or low volume. But if you want it to move a little bit slower, say you want to very slowly scroll through each letter on a text document or something, you can adjust the sensitivity accordingly. Likewise, though, for the
there aren't hotkeys for this shit already. You want us to remember your hotkeys instead of like the hotkeys that don't require your keyboard.
Of adjustment too.
That's
and this
silly.
Is where you get the 28 different levels that's highlighted in that top circle there. You can press the middle button plus B to finally decrease the pointing stick speed, and a middle button plus G to finally increase it. So, like I said, we're creating an environment that's really optimal for your specific needs. It really creates your specific studio because you can customize it to whatever you want, and you have all of the tools you could possibly need right at your fingertips. This tool really allows you to be in your studio wherever that is. Alrighty, so that was all the hardware stuff. Now let's dive in to the next thing that's so great about HHKB Studio, and this comes from the software side, specifically with our revamped, updated HHKB Studio key map tool. As you'll see from the diagram on the left, there's a few new features compared to our HHKB Professional tool, and that's the implementation of the pointer stick and the gesture pads. As you can see, right from the key map tool, you can enable or disable the pointing stick to your preference, and likewise, you can do the same with the gesture pads. On top of that, though, you can customize your gesture pads to be whatever function you want, and this is where you make it happen. As you'll see in the bottom, there's 4 different options that you can choose from, and the bottom one's the most exciting with the shortcut feature. This is where you really get to unlock all those advanced capabilities that really allow these gesture pads to, be those great tools that we imagined it to be. This shortcut feature allows you to add combination keys and put it in either a key or put it on a gesture pad. Those combination keys could be like Control-Shift-Up or Control-Alt to something. Whatever key combinations you like to use, you can add those through the shortcut and drag it to wherever is the most comfortable for you. This truly unlocks a lot of different capabilities across many different types of applications.
Windows.
The last thing I want to point out about this tool is the key map profiles that I touched on a little bit earlier. As you see in the diagram on the right here, we have 4 different key map profiles. And what a key map profile is kind of exactly what it says. It is their own individual key map. Now, why we created this was because we recognize that not only do creators need to access a lot of different tools, but they also use a lot of different things to create their projects. And each of those things have a different set of requirements that are needed. For instance, video editors might need Premiere Pro, but they might also need Photoshop. Graphic designers might need Illustrator, Photoshop, and something else for their web creation. These different key map profiles allow you to create different key maps customized to either your application that you like or the operating system that you use. Say you use Windows for work, Mac for home, whatever. You can create your own key map for each different use case you want. Up to each 4 program. And with an easy click of the button, you switch to those great key maps. And I'll go over a few examples of what really makes this feature really cool.
I'm sorry. Am I going from computer to computer to computer to computer?
To have at your fingertips the ability to access all the tools you need.
You can change the key. You can change your key maps in the programs.
A customized, curated experience.
Why do you need to do it in your keyboard? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
So now that we've gone over a little bit of the software and a little bit of the hardware stuff, we have a quick poll for you.
Why would you ever
your typing experience?
Why would you ever change it at your keyboard level?
Switches and how they're hot swappable. What we kind of want to know is for all of you out there, what's your preferred typing experience? Do you like it nice and quiet and smooth, or do you range to just the full clicky? I don't care who's sitting next to me. I need it loud.
No one.
We'll go ahead and give you about 30 seconds or so to submit your answer.
Fuck
and then we'll see where everyone stacks up. I know for me personally, I like it to be very silent and very smooth. So I really like these new HHKB Studio switches. They, like I said, they're very linear. They're very smooth to type on. And I also really love the toe brace switches too. That nice bump at the end. I like to describe it as like a buttery experience. If you've seen me at an event, I probably said that to you before, but that's my method. But I definitely know all the different typing methods, all the switches are great. And so I really want to know what you guys think.
Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
Alright, it looks like we have about 60% of you submitted. So we'll go ahead and give you about 10 more seconds or so to get your answers in.
Oh my god, this guy is unbearable. Oh my fucking god.
Alrighty, we'll wrap it up now here in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's see where we all stack up. Alright, yeah. I see a lot of you guys like the silent. Not too many full clicky experience people. That's alright. The people who voted there, you guys are also valid. We like all the switches, but that's good to know. Yeah, that's great. Like I said, I definitely prefer the silent. But it's cool to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I've always been very curious. Alrighty, so moving on. Back to our HHKB Studio. The way we really see this product is designed for those who want to maximize the efficiency of input in their work and their passions. And for us, that can range from people like front-end engineers who code, screen design, document editing, being able to really utilize all of those all-in-one features and likewise have that amazing HHKB layout for their coding needs, but also for a lot of content creators. Like I said, people who might be video editors, graphic designers, sound editors, web developers, whatever creation is your passion, we think this board is amazing for, because it integrates all these different features and is super customizable to your specific needs, and likewise is very portable, so you can take it wherever you want. Like we see here, you can take it right to the studio and it fits right in there and it looks great in there too. So in these next couple slides, I want to just go through some examples of how this board can benefit different users. And this is just kind of to inspire you to think, okay, maybe I can use my board this way, or maybe just get the juices flowing on how you might want to use your keyboard. In the first example, we'll be going through a programming example. And for this programmer, they want to use one of the gesture pads to start debugging. However, they use multiple different coding applications, and those use different key commands. So in this case, we're going to show how you can use your gesture pads and likewise the different key map profiles to have an easy coding experience across your different applications. In this case, this person uses Visual Studio Code and PyCharm. As you can see here, you can create your profile 1 to have all your different shortcut needs for Visual Studio Code. And in this case, the start of debugging will be the left down gesture pad, and that's normally F5. However, if you switch to PyCharm, it's a different command. You have to actually press Shift plus F9. So
not unless you change
in other words, if you only had one profile and you set it for Visual Studio Code, you go to PyCharm and you'd be out of luck on your gesture pads to start debugging. However, because we have these different key map profiles, you can set the left gesture pad on profile 2 to be Shift plus F9 and also represent debugging. So that means no matter which application you're coding on, if you want to start debugging, all you got to do is move your finger downwards and you're going to start debugging. And this could be up to, say you have a third and a fourth different application that you use too. It really allows you to have these key maps, and you can now be consistent with these different gesture pads and these different keys across the applications, even though the applications require different commands to do those outputs. In my opinion, that opens a world of opportunities and makes life a lot easier. In the next example, we're going to go through a creator and really unlock some of the great aspects of the gesture pads. In this case, this creator is trying to edit a film, and he's on using Adobe Premiere Pro. As you can see here, you can program these gesture pads to do different key combinations that just make the editing process more intuitive. So this person, you know, he wants to be able to adjust their video track's height and their audio track's height. And now you can do it using a gesture pad. And so instead of having to click a key combination, you can just do a more intuitive down for lowering the volume, up for increasing the volume. And this just makes the experience a lot more intuitive to the creator, and they're no longer limited by having to click a multitude of buttons, each type of little volume increase or little volume decrease that they want to do. Likewise, you can scroll through video with the left front gesture pad as it's programmed to scroll, and then you can utilize the right front gesture pad for zooming in and zooming out, or whatever you want to do. These features are just, like I said, examples to kind of get the juices flowing on all the different capabilities you can do, and recognize that a lot of these different key combinations are a lot more intuitive with an up and down or left and right motion that the gesture pads now unlock for creators who, like I said, want to be in a space where all they're focused on is creating, not, oh, what combination is it to raise the audio tracks? Oh, wait, no, that was the video tracks one, or have a table up next to them. This way, it's all at a simple slide of the finger, and it's all stored on the key map. So once you program it, you never have to remember it again. Just like with the HHKB Professional, you can have it on your work computer, you can go home to your personal computer. Those key maps and each of these profiles is stored inside the keyboard. So you never have to worry about reprogramming it based on which device you're using either. So for my section, that's all I have today. I'm going to hand it off to Huey. And before I hand it off, though, I just want you guys to know and be on the lookout. If you guys follow us on Instagram, great. We are going to be starting a little HHKB Studio giveaway here in a little while. So stay tuned for that. Sometime in November, you can look for that. And it'll be a really exciting contest. Like I said, you can win your own HHKB Studio. All right, Huey, all you.
Thank you so much, Chase, and thank you, Kutswada-san, for your presentations. They were absolutely great, and letting everyone know all about the keyboard. I just want to let everyone know, hey, feel free to follow HHKB on their socials, and hey, if you're interested in the board and checking it out, tomorrow there's going to be the Northern California Keyboard Meetup at the Guild House in downtown San Jose. So if you want to check out the keyboard live, feel free to check it out then, where there'll be them as well as many other people and hundreds of people attending the meetup. It's going to be a fun time. But speaking of fun times, we have a really exciting time ahead. A lot of you have been submitting your questions throughout this presentation, and we're going to be getting to the Q&A portion. If you have questions you'd like to submit to Chase or Kutswada-san, please feel free to submit them in your little Q&A box function.
We all know what the real questions are. They are not
answered, and hopefully
they are not going to
open up,
touch on any of the real fucking questions. They're just going to
start with the Q&A.
the
we have a few
ones.
questions that are already been asked, and we're going to start with a very, very simple one, which is the keyboard, when it released, had a collab with Tiny Makes Things, and the keycap was a bear.
That's my question. That's my question.
Yeah, great question.
Why doesn't he give me the fucking credit?
Being able to reach out to Tiny Makes Things.
Fuck you, Huey.
Collaboration, kind of as a celebration.
God
of the
damn you!
release of
Fuck you.
product. And as Kutswada-san kind of detailed the story and the birth of HHKB Studio, as he mentioned, this was actually born out of it had inspiration roots from California, and specifically the Bay Area, the IT capital of the world. And
so it's California Bear.
This idea was kind of born out of looking at the diverse needs and the diverse uses that so many different creators use.
Just say it's the California Bear.
And for reference to, our company is actually located in the Bay Area, so we are part of that culture as well. Looking at that and really seeing those diverse needs that people wanted, we wanted to create this keyboard. And therefore, when I reached out to Tiny and we
oh my god,
about,
this guy,
making this special,
this guy's,
like I said, celebrate this release.
What?
We wanted to really reflect those inspiration and design roots.
It's the California Bear.
And to us, there was no better thing, and no better thing that really aligned with Tiny's image and her and what she's really known for than using the California State Bear.
Thank you.
We had the State Bear
word salad, man.
HHKB red headphones.
Oh my God,
kind of merge those ideas that we were born out of California, and this is an HHKB studio, so this is a creator board. And so that's kind of where the Bear was born out of. And I was really happy with how it came out. Tiny, she always does fantastic, amazing work. And I'm so happy that it seemed like everyone else enjoyed it as well. We created some cool little graphics and stuff out of it too. And yeah, I'm so glad with how that turned out. Thank you for the question.
Wonderful. The next question is for Kutsuwada-san. It's a question that has been asked this year, has been asked last year, and even asked the year before that. High Pro keycap sets.
Yeah, see?
I'm very sorry about that.
No. Oh, no. We don't do that. Yeah, no.
But not to answer directly, that our direction of the studio is the full customization of the product. So it's not a direct answer on the High Pro, but please enjoy the customization of the studio. That's why we picked the MX 3-pin, 5-pin compatible. Then we are going to release the 3D modeling data.
Literally take our question seriously. You'll make money. You will make money.
I don't ask pay for it.
You will make money.
It's kind of very open way. Also,
you will make fucking money if you take our question seriously.
With kind of this open platform, both not only the hardware, also software side.
This is just like the 25th anniversary.
It's
like MX compatibility.
But we are going to share our specification with community to make our HHKB to be fully customized to fit your hands.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's
thank
really
you for that.
When everything gets opened up for the community to kind of get their hands in.
What is going to be interesting?
A good question also is to both either of you. Why does this keyboard require batteries instead of being rechargeable with a built-in?
My question again.
I think it's same. When I was in Japan to design the current HHKB professional line and the hybrid typeface, I won't let you use the HHKB over the 5 years, typically the 10 years. This is our lifespan of the keyboard. And then if we implement the internal battery, rechargeable like a lithium-ion in the keyboard, you cannot use our HHKB over 5 years. So still have the same concept in the HHKB studio.
Everything that I have that requires AAA batteries has battery acid in it.
I believe the battery life.
Give me a fucking break. Longevity.
And then a couple of the product is now available in the market, like a rechargeable AA shape the battery. So there is a choice in the market.
Oh, there's a choice. Thank you.
Our desire is that please use HHKB as long as possible with full customization for you.
God damn it.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. A question that I think not just I, but kind of everyone in the community has is, will there be plans for a Topra version of this studio board in the future, or is that not in the plans?
This time, we don't have any plan to implement Topra switch in studio. This is our clear separation, maybe. Our commitment is that we are going to keep implementing a Topra switch in our professional product line, very key typing centric, tactile-ish feeling, just focus to the typing experience. And then, but also the MX should be in the studio only. And then we are going to provide full customization at the not only keyboard, as the all-in-one devices. That's our direction. Yeah, I know that some expectation there, the Topra switches in studio, but at this time, our direction is Topra switch in the professional line and then MX compatible in the studio line.
Wonderful. That's good to know. There's a clear separation between which PFU products are going to be Topra, which PFU products are going to be MX. Another additional, some smaller additional questions. Which Bluetooth connectivity does the studio use? 2.4 gigahertz or the 5 gigahertz for the Bluetooth?
Yeah, he has to look it up.
Do you have any quick answer? I think we just picked the latest technology of the Bluetooth, so.
Yeah, it's the most recent one. Sorry, I don't remember the number off the top of my head.
This guy is chewing gum and it's driving me mad.
And then another interesting question that someone had was, can you remap key combinations for adjusting the gesture pad sensitivity, like using a function 1 instead of a middle mouse 1?
Yes. So the key map tool has specific buttons. So like I said, there was 4 different sections. One of them was the shortcuts that I talked about. Another one is device. And so those will have different device-related buttons, such as volume and also gesture pad sensitivity / gesture pad level 1, gesture pad level 2, so on and so forth. Same with the pointing stick. Those buttons are in the device level of the key map tool. And so you can, just like you do with any other keycap or key map, you can just drag and drop it to wherever you want. So you can have that be a regular button too if you wanted it to be.
Wonderful.
Or you can adjust the sensitivity with the gesture pad.
Back to the Bluetooth question. The spec is the Bluetooth version 5 BLE actually, and then 2.4 gig. So that's kind of the latest technology we picked.
Wonderful, thank you. And piggybacking off what you said, Chase, is there a limit to how many gestures could be programmed?
Like in terms of how many different gesture pads can have shortcuts on them?
Yes.
So each direction and each gesture pad can have a shortcut combination on it. So you can have a different combination for up, down on each of the different 4 gesture pads. So all of them can be programmed with a keycap combination.
Wonderful. And speaking of the gesture pads, a lot of people did have a question about the physical gesture pad itself. Are there any worries about long-term duration of the life of the gesture pads as people start using them for 1 year, 2 years, eventually 5 years? Is there any expectations on the lifetime of the gesture pads?
The gesture pads are built to last as well. Oh, sorry, Katsuwada-san.
The product quality is the most important thing of the HHKB. Not only the studio, also professional as well. We not committing that the year itself, but we always look at the 5-year range of the HHKB lifespan. So that the gesture pad also. So that not only the gesture pad, also the key switches, 6 million at the bottom. So I think that you can use around the 5 years over. And then we are going to provide a 2-year warranty at the product when you purchase through our e-com, our partners.
Okay, wonderful. So there's a minimum of 3-year warranty.
Wonderful.
2-year
That's
warranty.
a new drink. Every time Kiwi says wonderful.
2-year warranty. Someone had a question, I think, earlier about the files for the keycaps you'll be releasing. Are you sure yet of which license they're going to be published under?
Yeah, we don't have any exact conclusion for which kind of licensing would be, but our intention and the direction is that it's going to be very open way. So, don't worry about, it's kind of closed, registration or something like that, but I'd like to work with communities to expand our options in the market. So we are going to take very open way to publish this data.
Another question that I feel like I need to ask as well, less related to the studio and more related to the HHKB professional. A lot of people have been wondering and asking about the colored key sets. Will we see more of them?
Let's see. I don't have any exact timeline at this time, but yeah, we're know that we have just a couple of colors only. Yeah, let me put in my to-do list now. Then ask our team when we can do that. Yeah, because of the we
Put it
have
on
been
your
working on
to-do
the studio
list
so much.
now.
Also, the customization will be on the studio.
Good job.
We just need to look at what kind of the
You know what?
customization we can provide on the professional
I just want
line as
nice
well.
things.
And if I may add to that, Kutswada-san,
Why don't we
yes,
get
we
nice
definitely
things?
have heard everyone's requests, and we are working hard on that aspect. Like Kutswada-san said, we don't have any strict timeline, but we do plan to have some exciting news in the future, in the near future, I should say.
I've heard you guys say that before. Exciting news doesn't mean shit.
I can't say anything else behind that, though.
Exciting news doesn't mean anything. Exciting news doesn't mean anything.
So you're confirming there is a future.
Yo, future. A future.
Yes, that's
exciting things.
We like that. Okay. That helps calms our nerves. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the studio real quick.
Oh my god.
There was a question for the gestures, which I actually have as well. Are multi-touch gestures supported? For example, if I have on the front here, could I do a pinch to zoom?
No.
No. In the device, it's just up and down. Like Kutswada-san said, though, if we are able to make that technology open source, then it'll allow creators to, unlock all those capabilities using their
God.
Yeah, but we consider to implement
the ultimate thing that nobody ever wanted. Imagine how many executives design decisions went in. Where did they?
Interesting capability we utilize the gesture part, but the technical difficulty would be there because we have the isolated for controllers inside.
They must have thought they were like
very tricky portion.
Interesting. And to kind of add on to that question, because both of you have
like
alluded,
the inventor of the automobile,
the software portions to be opened up in the future as
if
well.
If I were to ask them what they wanted, they would have said a better horse and buggy.
Open it up yet. It's just in the plans to be opened up.
I mean, they are totally tone deaf and out of touch.
We are now working the hardware 3D data first. And then our team need to work about the feature update or fixing the bugs, as a top priority. So after that, we just need to consider that how can we provide you the data or some of the
If this thing was $180, it still wouldn't sell.
So that could be a little bit behind from the hardware modeling data published, but we are considering.
$330.
Provide this kind of the openness for the community as a software site as well.
And to go a little bit more on the opening up of a lot of these files, will this extend to, for example, the plate and the case, or is the main plan just going to be the keycaps and potentially the software?
At this time,
oh my god, he's falling asleep. He's so bored. He's already bored. He's done. He's done.
Software under consideration because we also got some of the interesting requests in the Japanese market as well. It's kind of the same. They just want to have more control on the gesture parts or sensitivity of the pointing stick, acceleration algorithm of the pointing sticks. So we grab this feedback from the community, not only the US, also Japan as other regions. Yeah, we can compare this request to our to-do list, and then we are going to plan, to make a plan, what would be the best way to approach you.
Wonderful. And people are asking,
was that the keyword?
Will there be like a unified key map software for like both the Pro line and the Studio line, or are they going to always require different software to do the key map layouts, for example?
Yeah, as the first version, we prioritize to release the Studio dedicated key map tool because of the new capability. It will be there, the pointing stick gesture part, but in the future, we should consider to integrate into all-in-one package to support both professional line and the studio line in the same package of the software. So this is already we started to work on.
Wonderful. Okay, I think we have enough time for maybe one or two more questions before we have to do the raffle, which I know a lot of people are. So, one more, another maybe quick couple questions. One of them is, are there any additional installs to use with Apple products, such as using it on the MacBook Air or Mac Mini? Or is it, can you plug and play, or do you need to download? Is there an Apple specific program?
You need to install the Mac version of a keymap tool. That's same as Windows, but no driver installation required. It's the simple HID product device, but you need to install our keymap tool for customization on the macOS.
And following on the line of operating systems, will there be any support for Linux systems?
Actually, the keyboard itself works with Linux well, but the portion is the keymap tool. So we don't have any plan to provide the keymap tool on the Linux platform at this moment. But if you have
so much for me using on my Steam Deck
machine, just to configure the keyboard. Now, as Chase mentioned, that all settings
that was the only thing I could picture me using it for. My Steam Deck.
So it works.
Because it runs Linux, but
it's kind of current situation on the HHKB.
Okay, well, thank you so much for both to you and Chase for answering all these questions. Everyone, we're going to be transitioning to the raffle. You may be wondering,
what a gigantic
what can I win
piece of
in the
junk.
raffle today? Well, we have 3 HHKB work shirts similar to ones I am wearing, 3 HHKB Studio carry cases, which are the PFU Japanese exclusives, 2 keycaps from Tiny Makes Things, the California Bear escape keys, and an HHKB Studio signed by Professor Wada Sensei himself.
Whoa!
So let's
go
rolling these dice and
let's go, boys.
So we have 3 winners for the HHKB work shirts. The first winner is Vince Ing. You will be contacted by the PFU team if you are called out to win a prize. The next shirt winner is Sang Kim. And the third winner is Roy Henderson. Congratulations. I hope you all enjoy these shirts. They're pretty nifty. They're cool. They're definitely unique. Definitely unique. Next up, we have the HHKB Studio Carry Case winners. 3 of these as well. The first winner is going to be Nicholas Chen. The second winner is going to be T. Mal. And the third winner is going to be Stephen Cleverly. And now we go on to the 2 Artisan Keycap winners. The first winner is Tim Clemens. Congratulations. And the second winner is Patrick Breen. Congratulations on those California Bear Escape keycaps. They look absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, they do.
Last, certainly not least,
the big boy. The big boy.
Studio, signed by Professor Wada.
The big boy. Brian Jibo.
Lionel Aguilar. Congratulations. If you win, you will be messaged by the PFU staff for your information in order to receive your products. Once again, thank you, Kutsuwada-san and Chase, for your presentation today. Do either of you have any last words before I close out the event today?
Yeah, I would like to say thank you everyone for joining. I had a great time talking with you all, and I'm very much appreciate you all showing up and taking some time out of your day to learn more about HHKB. One other small push for Huey's event. If you stop by our booth tomorrow, we'll be raffling off 2 more of these Tiny Makes Things California Bears. And if you might have seen, they are currently sold out on our site. And so this is kind of your last chance if if you want to sport a cute little bear on your keyboard.
Yep. Yeah, all right. Thank you for attending this webcast. I hope it helps you to understand the new HHKB Studio is. I know when we announced this one last week, a lot of things happens in social, especially for the top racing. But I hope we delivered great direction of messages to you what we are thinking about. And then the HHKB Studio is kind of full customizable keyboard to fit your hands. This is a way we are going to implement my t-shirt says, no HHKB, no life. So that's our hope in the future, also past. And then as Jason Huey said, we have the great event tomorrow, and I'll be there. Please touch our keyboard itself. Let's talk. Thank you for attending again. Happy Friday and happy hacking.
Thank you so much, Kutsuwada-san and Chase. And like he said, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. I hope you can make the meetup if you're in the area. Links are down below. If you're interested in the meetup, links are also down below if you're interested in the HHKB studio. With that, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for attending today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that was a thing. Well,